Next to that, we are going to study about the human male reproductive system. In human male reproductive system, the main organs are pair of testes, pair of vas deferens, pair of prostate glands. You will find here the seminal vesicles and a single organ, that is penis. You will find that in human male reproductive system, some organs are inside the body of human males and some organs are outside the body of human males, like testes are present in the scrotum of the male body, because the testes are releasing sperms which can survive and grow only at a lower body temperature than the normal body temperature of human being. Therefore, testes are located outside the body, whereas the bladder, seminal vesicles, prostate glands are situated inside the body of human being. Here you will find in this, testes are the ones which release the hormone testosterone at the time of puberty, which brings changes in the whatever pubertal changes which takes place in the boys, that is because of the hormone testosterone. The testes also releases sperms and these sperms are getting stored in ejaculatory ducts. In human male reproductive system, testes are located outside the body of males in the scrotum, as they require low body temperature compared to the normal body temperature, because at that temperature it allows the growth of sperms. Now, these sperms are getting released by testes and are getting stored in epididymis. In epididymis, these sperms will be stored and allowed to grow, and later on they will be passed through the deferens and they will be carried towards the seminal vesicles, where they will be provided with nutritious material, nutritious food, and the ejaculatory fluid will be added in them by the prostate glands, and then when the time comes, they will be coming down to the common duct which is carrying the urine also as well as the sperms also. That is why it is called as urinogenital duct, which is passing through the penis, and through penis the sperms are released. Penis is an organ which is commonly used for the release of sperms as well as to pass the urine. Next stage comes, that is gamete formation. Here, as you all know, that in the copulation two gametes are involved in human being, father and mother gametes. Father has got 44 plus XY chromosomes, whereas mother has got 44 plus XX chromosomes. Now, these 44 chromosomes are which? They are autosomes, and XY or XX, these are the sex chromosomes, right. Now, here you will find that female every time is forming gametes, as she has got both X chromosomes in the 23rd pair of chromosomes, but in the case of males they are having X and Y, these two different chromosomes. Therefore, they will form two different gametes that can be 22 chromosomes plus X or 22 chromosomes plus Y chromosomes. So, at the time of fertilization, if fertilization takes place with 22 X from the father and mother will be always giving 22 plus X, so the child born will be a girl, that is with 44 plus XX chromosomes, and if the father gives 22 plus Y chromosomes, at that time the male child will take birth with 44 plus XY chromosomes. So, that is how we will find father chromosomes will be determining the sex in the child, and you all know that in the society every time the females are blamed to give birth to the female child, right. So, now scientifically you have understood that the female chromosomes are same, whereas the male chromosomes are differing, and that is why even if we want to hold responsible somebody from the mother and father, so it should be a father whose chromosomes are responsible to give birth to the male or a female child, right. Now, how the fetal growth takes place? how the fetus is growing in the womb of the mother or in the uterus of the mother. From the fertilization, you will find that the after fertilized egg, which is forming zygote, by repeated cell divisions it converts into an embryo. This embryo will come down and settled in the uterine walls where the endometrium is formed. It will develop a placenta, which is a passage contact with the mother. Through placenta, mother can supply the nutrition as well as oxygen to the fetus, and fetus is getting attached with the mother. Now, here you will see that through placenta, this fetus starts getting nourishment and oxygen for its growth. Completely the growth takes place by 36 to 40 weeks, and once the 40 weeks occur, the mother starts getting labor pains and she delivers a child. So, this is how you will see development and childbirth. At the time of childbirth, uterus is playing very important role by contracting and relaxing. By this contraction and relaxation enables the fetus come down towards the vagina, and that is how the normal delivery takes place. In some cases, you might have heard cesarean section, C-sections, that it is not a normal delivery. Normal delivery is the delivery which takes place through the vagina. But nowadays C-sections are done or cesarean sections are done, that is maybe some problems which are occurring at the time of delivery. The child is taken from the uterus by giving a C-section, C-cut, that is surgery. Now, here we will see the next topic for us is to study twins. Now, you all have seen in classes or in school or somewhere you might have come across with some twins. You might have seen there are twins, those are exactly identical to each other, and in movies also you might have seen like Jodwa movie and Sita or Geeta, you have seen there are twins, those are identical to each other. Now, how these identical twins are born? And there are some twins you might have seen that they are twins, but they are not looking similar, they are looking different. Their choices are different, their hobbies are different, their habits are different, that also we have seen. Now, we are going to study scientifically that how these twins are differing or how these twins can be identical. Now, here you will find that there are two types of twins, that is monozygotic twins and dizygotic twins. Monozygotic twins means what? They are formed from a single embryo due to the division of zygote within 8 days of its formation. Means after fertilization process, when the zygote is formed and by repeated cell divisions before it forms an embryo, it gets splitted into two parts after fertilization within 8 days time. So, what has happened? There are same sets of chromosomes are transferred into the oocyte to form that zygote, and since the offsprings which will be developed from those two splitted zygotes, they will be identical to each other. And here you will notice one more thing, that these identical twins will be having the same sex also. They will be either both girls or they may be both boys. Right. So, that is how these monozygotic or identical twins are taken birth. Second is dizygotic twins. These dizygotic twins are formed from two different embryos due to the release of two oocytes. Now, here you will find, as I told you, that every month one egg is released from one ovary, and alternately they keep on releasing. That 1 month left ovary will release one egg, next month right ovary will release one egg, but due to some treatment or due to some hormonal problem, here you will find that at a time 2 eggs or 2 oocytes are getting released and millions of sperms are getting released at the time of copulation. So, both the eggs, if are getting fertilized, so two different sperms will fertilize two different eggs. So, two different embryos will be formed. They may be two girls, they may be two boys, or they may be a girl and a boy, and they will be different also looking from each other, or maybe same because they are having the same parents, isn't it? So, they can be similar or they can be differing also. So, they are called as dizygotic twins, but one girl and one boy can take birth only when two different eggs are released, right. So, this is how you will find that twins are taking birth in the society. Next topic of ours, it is reproduction and modern technology. As you all know that science and technology has lot of advancement today. It has developed a lot, it has done revolution in the technology, and there are a lot of miraculous development you can find in the field of medical. Here you will find there are some couples, those are not able to be a parent. They wanted to be a parent, but due to some problems, like they may be having less sperm count, the female may be having the problems in the hormones release, or may be having problem in the uterus, or whatever it is. But some or the other reason, they are not able to be a parent. At that time, this science and technology can help them, and here you will find that there are different methods by which the revolution is occurred in medical science. The first technology we are going to study, that is IVF, that is in vitro fertilization. Now, what is in vitro? In vitro means what? It is somewhere outside the body, that may be in the lab or maybe in the test tube, right? That is in vitro fertilization. In this you will find that the females, the same couple who want to be a parent, they will be giving their sperms and eggs, and the fertilization will be made in the test tube in the lab. Once the fertilization takes place and zygote is formed, doctors will implant that zygote into the female of the same couple, and then the embryo will develop into a fetus, and that is how this couple can be a parent of a child. So, this process is called as in vitro fertilization, or in earlier days it was also called as test tube baby formation, right, because the fertilization occurred in the test tube. The second technique is surrogacy. Now, some of the people, they do not able to give birth to their own child, or the female is not able to hold the pregnancy. Her uterus may be weak, or the body is weak, or maybe she is an actress, or she is a career woman, and she is not having that much of time to bear the child for 9 months and deliver. So, in that cases, whatever may be the problem, the couple can implant this fetus into the surrogate mother's uterus, and she is the one who can allow that fetus to grow in her uterus, and she will be delivering the child, and after delivery surrogate mother will hand over the child to the parents of that child. So, this is how surrogacy, which is a legal process in everywhere you will find, which takes place, which helps the parents to have their own child. The next technique is sperm bank or semen bank. Here the sperms can be donated or collected by the healthy people, and wherever it is required, if single female she want to have a single parent, though at that time they can take the sperms from the sperm bank, they can fertilize the eggs by IVF technology, and even they can hold the pregnancy, or they can surrogate that pregnancy, and that is how they also will be a parent. So, single person also can be parent today by using this modern technology, and there are various examples in the India as well as in other countries. You will find that single male or single female, they can be parent, they can have their own child, right, by using IVF, surrogacy as well as sperm bank. Next we are going to see reproductive health. Now, we have come to the end of this lesson here, and we are going to study about the reproductive health, population facts in our country, as well as sexually transmitted diseases. Now, students, you all know that what is health. As per WHO, it is said that WHO, World Health Organization, said that health is a state being physical, mental and social well-being of a person, right. So, you should be healthy at social, mental and physical, right. So, only having illness or you are not falling ill, it does not mean that you are healthy. So mentally also you should be fit, socially also you should be fit, and you should be accepted. Then that person we can call as a healthy person, right? Now here you will see that what are the reasons why in India we are lacking behind in the matter of health, and especially reproductive health, right? We are talking a lot about other diseases and all, but we are somewhere very conservative to speak about reproductive health. And what are the reasons for that? So the reasons for reproductive health are social customs. We are having some inhibitions, we are having these social customs. Then the second reason is what? Illiteracy. People are not literate, they are not educated, they are not able to get the knowledge, gather the information. Then the next is shyness. People are very shy to speak about the health, sexual health, or regarding the sexual organs. These people are feeling very shy, and somewhere inhibitions are there. Then the last point you can see here, that is negligence of hygiene and cleanliness of genitals. That is the most important thing we can find here, that negligence is there, awareness is not there, that how this sexual organs should be kept clean, and they should be kept in a hygienic way, so that we can avoid this sexually transmitted diseases. Now here you will find that which are those sexually transmitted diseases. You might have heard nowadays, because through mass media also a lot of advertisement is done about sexually transmitted diseases. Awareness is spread in the people, so that somewhere we will solve the problem of these sexually transmitted diseases like AIDS in maximum, which we are finding in our country. The next is gonorrhea and syphilis. Now how we can find out that the person has got gonorrhea, or he himself or she herself should find out that they have got gonorrhea or syphilis. So here we can see some of the symptoms of these diseases. In gonorrhea you will find that there is a pain and the burning sensation during urination in the urinary organs, oozing of pus through penis and in vagina. In the males in penis, or in the females in vagina, pus formation takes place. Inflammation of urinary tract, anus, throat, eyes, etc. takes place in gonorrhea. Whereas in syphilis you will find that there is an occurrence of patches on various parts of body, including genitals. Not only genitals, but all the other parts of the body also will get patches, okay, reddish patches on the body. Those people are getting continued fever, and inflammation of joints also takes place in syphilis. So these are the common symptoms you can find in the people those are suffering through these sexually transmitted diseases. Here we will see about this population facts, which is the most important thing today. And as you all know that excessive growth of population within a short duration of time is called as population explosion, and population explosion is the cause of various problems in our country like unemployment, poverty, illiteracy, stress, right? A lot of competition everywhere, and due to competitions we are getting stress. So what can be done to reduce the population? So first of all we should educate the people for that, right? That having one child, having two children, and having many children, what is the difference? Whether we are able to satisfy the needs of our children, isn't it? So that has to be explained properly to the people, to the society. We need to explain to them regarding the various family planning methods. People want to have sex, you can have, but use some precautionary measures. Now here are some of the family planning measures we need to make made aware to the people. That is, in females it is tubectomy, and in males it is vasectomy, right? These are the surgeries which takes place in the males and females. Males vasectomy, and in females tubectomy. These are the surgeries which occurs. Whereas without surgery, just by using some contraceptive pills or by using condom, we can also stop the pregnancy. By using condom, not only pregnancy will be stopped, but the people can also be protected by sexually transmitted diseases. And that is why this awareness is very important to the people or to the young children and your students. As you people are in a puberty, you are the adolescent children today, and you will be the future citizens. That is why it is very important for we science teachers to give a proper guidance, proper way, and that is why these lessons are included in our syllabus. so that you can learn it scientifically instead of taking the knowledge by the wrong methods, and you should try to understand your role, your responsibilities in the society. I hope that you have understood the lesson. Keep studying. Thank you so much.